good to see everyone here tonight. Thank you for coming. And welcome to our Christmas program, Jesus, Light of the World. Now, we had our program this morning for our 2s and our 3s and Explorers. And I have to tell you, some of you were here. It was wonderful. And you are in for a treat tonight. I'm telling you, they are fantastic and adorable. Before we start the program, I would just like to say some special thank yous to some people. For Mr. Bob Schuyler for doing the videotaping this morning and tonight, and he will also be editing those. For Jillian Spencer for the beautiful costume photos that you've received. For Pastor Brad, who's in the back, he's running our computer and the soundboard for this program tonight. For our preschool committee, who is here, they were here this morning and tonight, for all of their support and their help. For those in the church who helped set up the program. For Miss Joyce, especially for all her hard work, her gifts and talents, in sharing the joy of music with the children. To all of our teachers and our staff, for all of their help in preparing the children for tonight. And for Pastor Bruce, who will come now and share in a word of prayer.
Good evening. I am Pastor Bruce. As she said, I'm one of the pastors here. And just before I pray, I want to welcome you. And I also want to invite you, if you don't have a place to go on Christmas Eve, we do have a candlelight service here at 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve. And you and your family are, of course, welcome to join us for that. That being said, if you would just join me in a word of prayer, and then we'll get the program started. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this Advent season where we look forward to the idea of Christ coming into the world, helping the world, saving the world. And Father, as these kids have worked hard to give us this program tonight, we celebrate their work and the joy that they are in our lives, and we ask that just the idea of Christ's goodness and His love and His care for us as He rescues us from sin, that story that we'll hear tonight through these kids will be a story that just continues to live with us in our lives as we help our neighbors and in our hearts as we trust God's promises. And I ask this in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
in Bethlehem of Judea. It's a story about life. It's a true story, and it happened over 2,000 years ago, before I was born, and even before your grandma and grandpa were born. As everyone knows, Mary and Joseph took a long trip on a donkey to get to Bethlehem. And while they were there, baby Jesus was born. A huge choir of angels in a bright light appeared to some shepherds nearby, and they began singing. Angels told the shepherds to leave their flocks and go see the baby. So they left their sheep and ran all the way to Bethlehem. When they saw the baby, they knew that this was a very special baby. The shepherds stayed as long as they could, but finally it was time for them to leave. So they said goodbye to Mary, Joseph, and the baby. Then the shepherds went back to their fields and flocks, praising God. After a few days, Mary and Joseph took baby Jesus to the temple in Jerusalem, and while they were there, an old man named Simeon took Jesus in his arms and said, "He is the light that will shine upon the nations, and he will be the glory of your people Israel." Mary and Joseph were amazed. And then a prophetess named Anna, who was very, very old, came along, and she also began thanking God for the baby, along with Simeon. She said that Jesus was the Messiah that the Jews had been waiting for hundreds of years. Mary and Joseph were even more amazed. About that time, some wise men from the east noticed a very bright shining star in the sky. They figured out that it must be the star of a newborn king. So they left their home and followed it for about 2 years. got to Jerusalem, they looked high, and they looked low, but they didn't find the baby. So the wise men went to King Herod to see if he knew anything. Now, King Herod was not a very nice man. He did bad things. He was jealous. And he lied. He told the wise men to keep looking for the newborn king, and when they found him, to come back and tell him so that he could worship him also. But what he really wanted to do was to kill baby Jesus. Well, the wise men left King Herod, and the star appeared to them again. It led them straight to a house in Bethlehem, where they found Jesus. As soon as they saw him, they knelt down and worshipped him, and then they had a birthday party. The wise men gave Jesus gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And when they left to return to their own land, God told them in a dream not to go back to King Herod. So they did, and the baby was safe. And now, because Jesus was born on that very first Christmas so long ago, we have the light of his love in our lives today. And that's what Christmas lights are really all about. Light from the angels, light from the star that led the wise men to Bethlehem, and of course Jesus, the light of the world.
Christmas,
so good. Thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up. Pastor Brad is going to play that last song again as the children exit the sanctuary. Ready for you to pick them up. We're going to have Jason Spencer come up and lead us in a Christmas carol, Joy to the World.
You don't stand up.
One parent go back to the classroom and pick up your child, and then join us for some refreshments in the fireside room. And before we leave, I just want to leave you with one verse. If everyone can just be seated for just a second. This verse comes from the New Testament, and it's so appropriate to our program, Jesus, Light of the World. It's from the book of John, and it's chapter 8, verse 12. And it says, "When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, 'I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life.'" Thank you all again for coming. Good evening.